I'm in Belgium. I'm just at the Dig 80 site. This is a crowdfunding site to dig to try and get the bodies of the fallen from the First World War up and identified, out of the ground obviously, and identified and then buried properly. One of the workmen just walked over, and he says that he's going to ask if I can go in and have a look at what they're doing. It's going to cost me €5, but it goes towards the crowdfunding for the dig anyway, so I don't mind paying that at all. But you know, they're doing a good job, obviously. You can follow it on you can follow it, I think, on Facebook and the No Dead website as well. Right, I'm on the top of the viewing platform. You obviously can't go on the site because it's basically sacred ground, really, if you think about it. People have died here and they need to dig them up and rebury them. I think the reason they're doing this is because I think they're going to build houses on it. I'm not quite sure, but I'll find out later on. Oh, the gentleman's here with me money. Just had an interesting talk with I think he's a project manager actually. Really interesting. I'm not quite sure because obviously they're not allowed to go down there. I can actually walk around the back here and look at the land later on. They have another 2 to 3 weeks before they have to finish everything off. It's actually it's going to be built on, definitely going to be built on, and I think the reasons why they say the authority let them build on it because there's houses over here and there's houses over there. So this is a debate that's I don't think they realised when they first decided to give permission of how much significance this area was. It was actually occupied by the Allies and the Germans, and obviously the Irish actually, which came from over here. We're on the Mazine Ridge, so along this ridge here, down there, to all the way up there, there's a series of explosions, about 19 I think there should have been, and in order to block the trenches underneath the Germans, and I think 17 went off. Left 2, and one of the, I think in the 50s, I think another one went off. It was hit by lightning when that blew up, and I think it was under a farm, and I think it killed a cow. I think they said something like that. There's one more that's left that hasn't gone off. And it's under a farmer's field, so they don't know if it'll ever go off or not. The gentleman who was speaking to before said that he spoke to the farmer. He said, well, I've lived here all my life, so if it goes off, and that's it. So I think it's possible, doesn't it, anyway? Right, I'll just try and explain a little bit of what's happening on the site itself. Okay, this here, these are the trenches. They were German initially, because they got the high ridge here. And then eventually when the Irish captured it, they became obviously the Irish trenches. So at one time these trenches here were facing that way, because this is where the Allies were coming up this way, and then eventually when the Irish captured it, apparently they were facing that way because that's where the Germans were coming over. That part there is it used to be an old French mill. It's obviously gone now, but you see the concrete and stuff like that. When the Germans captured it, they turned it into like a viewing area, I think they said, so that they could view over this ridge. There's not a lot of high ground in Belgium, not around this area anyway, but any bit of high ground is obviously the advantage for whoever it was. So they're still digging. There's a few more trenches over there. What he said was if they do find any bodies, they have to document everything and then they send it off, I think, to the authorities, and they're not allowed to, even if they find a dog tag, they're not allowed to say anything until they've, I think, notified the relatives, and no doubt they'll do a DNA testing and stuff like that. Okay, as you can expect on this site, you're going to get probably a lot of dead bodies, a lot of bones, and they need to analyse, or I should say they need to find and document. But the thing as well is, because obviously in the First World War there's a lot of ordnance that was just basically sent over from both sides, and this vehicle here is on permanent standby because this vehicle here is bomb disposing. So if they find anything on this site that has any type of ordnance, obviously they're not sure about, I think they sound a siren or an alarm, and these guys here will come along and have a look at if there's any problems, regarding any bombs or anything that may or may have not. It could be even mustard gas. So they'll have to dispose of it. But it happens all the time in Belgium. There's millions and millions and millions of shells that were fired over. They reckon it could be over 100 years before they can dig everything up. Well, I found that fascinating then. All the stuff they're doing and digging up is really interesting. It's just a shame that the authorities would give permission to basically build on it, really. I think it's well, we'll have our own opinion, but my opinion is they should never build on somewhere that people have lost their lives. Basically, it's a graveyard, and it should never happen. But whatever reason it is, they have done. Now, these guys are digging it all up now, so hopefully they're going to find as many bodies as they possibly can. They've got 3 weeks left, and then, as Shannon just told me, they're doing a presentation on the 12th of November in London, where they're going to show what they found. We'll be still in... No, we might be home then, I'm not sure. We're coming back here on the 11th of November to pay respects at Manning Gate. But the thing is if they start to dig, and they dig down, they find more bodies and bones, they have to leave them. They've got to call the authorities. So I suppose in one way or another, these guys are actually cleaning the site up for the builders to carry on unhindered. But if you ever see, like, I don't know, if you ever see any other places where you're digging and suddenly you come across a bone, you've got to report it to the authorities. Well, in England you do anyway, so no doubt in Belgium you do. Same as ordnance, especially in this country, because it's at least 100 years before they clear all this site properly. There's so much ordnance, bombs, and the First World War that was just fired at each other. It's just impossible to clean up. It's take a long time. Anyway, I'll keep my eye open for Hill 80 as it goes along, and maybe if this is made into a video and put on YouTube, what it'll no doubt be after that anyway. Lest we forget,